Hello friends. Welcome to Review Recapped. Today I will be showing you a horror, thriller, sci-fi movie named Brightburn. Spoilers ahead. Sit back and enjoy. The movie begins where a couple, Tori and Kyle Breyer, are seen trying to conceive a baby but fail to do so because Tori gets distracted by noises and vibrations from outside. They try to ignore it, but suddenly something hits the ground and the power cuts down. The couple looks out and see something crashes down in the ground. We then see a flashback clip of their baby boy named Brandon. After 10 years, Tori is seen playing hide and seek with Brandon and finds him hiding in their farm. Brandon seems to be very intelligent, getting attention of his teacher and his classmates at school. During the night, Tori is seen relaxing and painting, while Brandon gets disturbed by strange noises and sleepwalk towards the farm. As he gets closer to the locked basement, he gets aggressive and tries to open it, but Tori gets there and calms him down. The next day, Brandon sets out to mow the lawn. In an attempt to start the mower, he realizes he has some extraordinary power that makes him throw the mower far off. On seeing this, he gets shocked and stops the blade of the machine with his hand without getting hurt. The family goes out for dinner with their family friends Noah and Marilee, where they give him toys as a gift, to which Brandon aggressively snatches and gets rude. His parents get offended with his behavior and leave for house immediately. The next morning, while having breakfast, Kyle notices strange sound coming from Brandon's mouth. To his surprise, he sees his son chewing the metal fork. He tries to stop him, but Brandon bends the fork. The next day, Kyle takes Brandon hunting, showing him his guns, and making him aware of the fact that how his body is changing after Tori found some lingerie ads under his bed. Later that night, Brandon is caught stalking one of her classmates, Caitlin, at her place, leaving her frightened with her mother, while Tori looks for him at the farm. That same night, Kyle starts getting worried about the strange changed behavior of his son. He notices Brandon staring at the chickens in their farm and asks him if he was alright, and later on goes inside. After some time, both the parents go out and to their surprise get to see that all the chickens have been murdered brutally. Tori thinks a wolf might have killed them, but Kyle gets suspicious about Brandon killing them, as he was already noticing him staring at chickens earlier. At school the next day, Brandon and his class fellows are seen exercising in the ground, where he falls off, hoping that Caitlin might give her a hand, but Caitlin, being nervous about that night, does not want to help him. Their coach insists her to give him a helping hand, but all of a sudden Brandon gets aggressive and breaks Caitlin's hand. We then see Tori explaining Caitlin's mother that accidents happen between kids, but her mother is not convinced at all and demands Sheriff to arrest him. Sheriff refuses and advises special sessions for him. Brandon is then advised to see a counselor and get some help soon. As they leave, Brandon gives a menacing stare at Caitlin's mother. During the night, we see Brandon is once again drawn towards the strange alien spaceship in the farm, and this time unlocks the door with his extraordinary powers. He is seen connecting with the big alien spaceship. He starts floating in the air and chanting in another language. We can also hear the evil voices coming from the alien spaceship saying, "Take the world." Tori rushes towards the farm and finds him and breaks the connection between the both. Brandon falls on the ship and gets injured. He curiously asks where they got him from, to which Tori reveals that he was found on arrival of an alien spaceship. After listening to this, he freaks out and in rage and fire lasers from his eyes for the first time. Later, he visits Caitlin in her bedroom and asks her not to be scared. She says her mother said not to talk to her, but he says he will take care of that, leaving flowers behind. Meanwhile, Caitlin's mother is seen closing up in a bar all by herself. She suddenly notices that something is off. The light starts flickering and the window breaks. The glass from the window goes into her eye. She, being helpless, tries to defend herself, but we see Brandon in full rage in his costume murders her brutally. Sheriff the next day, while investigating, gets hold of Brandon's diagram that he drew on the window at the scene. Marilee, who's also a counselor and Brandon's aunt, sets up a meeting with him, but the session does not go well because of Brandon's behavior. So she tells him she needs to update the sheriff about his misbehaving behavior. Later that same night, he stalks her through her house, threatens her, and warns her not to mention anything to the sheriff. She gets frightened, and it's shown that Brandon stares her from outside in his costume and watches her texting Noah. When Noah returns home, he finds Brandon in the closet in a costume. He threatens him to tell his parents, which upsets Brandon. The angry boy lashes out on his uncle, causing him to try to escape in a truck. He lifts the truck up and throws the truck far off, breaking Noah's jaw. As he is seen dying, Brandon makes the same diagram on the floor with blood of his uncle. Brandon returns home without shirt, explaining and lying he was bullied at school to his parents, and hides his shirt full of blood and gets away with it. That night, Kyle has a nightmare that shows him how Tori first found the baby in the alien spaceship and adopts him. However, it frightens him when its eyes light up with lasers. The very next day Marilee calls Tori and Kyle to the hospital and tells about Noah's murder. They both are seen comforting her. She also complains about Brandon stalking at her house the other night. The parents then confront Brandon with all that was happening, telling about Noah's murder, where Brandon is not seen bothered by it. Kyle accuses him of being there last night, which makes Brandon more furious, and suddenly, in anger, Brandon throws his father across the doorway. Tori tries to calm him and sends him away. Later, Kyle finds Brandon's shirt full of blood without letting him know and shows to Tori, but she refuses to believe that her baby boy killed Noah. Kyle now sees Brandon as a threat and so plans to take him to a trip to kill him. Kyle pretends to apologize to Brandon and tries to be friendly with him, hoping his plan might work. Meanwhile, the sheriff visits Tori to explain he's found the same diagrams made by Brandon on each incident, but she doesn't acknowledge them. Later in the woods, when Kyle takes him to the trip, he attempts to shoot Brandon with his gun, but the bullet bounces off of Brandon's head and he vanishes in the air. Later, Kyle is seen asking for mercy, but all in vain. Brandon, in his full rage and costume, kills his father with his laser vision that goes through his skull. Back at the house, Tori finds Brandon's notebook and notices the same diagrams that Sheriff showed. Tori panics and tries to call her husband. Brandon answers the phone, telling Tori that Kyle has gone. Brandon starts to fly and destroy the house. She calls 911 as he continues to fly around her. The sheriff and his deputy are called in after the 911 call is cut short. When they arrive, they see the house is devastated. Tori starts to come out of the house as the sheriff calls out to her. However, before she can talk with him, Brandon lashes out on him and rips him apart. Helpless, Tori and the deputy make their way inside the house. Tori goes upstairs to hide under the bed as the deputy tries to find Brandon. Soon she is seen being killed brutally by him. The sounds of being torn apart by Brandon could be heard by Tori. She continues to be quiet as Brandon looks around for her. Tori soon remembers that Brandon was injured by the alien ship earlier, so she rushes towards the farm where the spaceship was and gets a piece from the ship, thinking it would kill him. She then finds dead body of Caitlyn's mother there. However, she tries to lure him with sweet words as he comes closer. They both embrace each other and he gives her this innocent look. She tries to stab him, but Brandon grabs her and flies high up in the sky, gives her one last look and drops her down to death. As he hovers in air, a passenger jet plane is seen coming closer towards him, and the screen fades to black. In the last scene, we see the whole farm covered with emergency personnel trying to investigate how the plane crashed on the ground with no survivors, while Brandon is seen sitting there having a cookie with an innocent face. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification to watch more videos like this.